go for the bigger market. That's going to make your life a lot easier.
Don't trust all the lessons you see out there, because
one of the biggest lessons that took a while to learn was all about TAM, total addressable market. It's great to go ahead and figure out a solution. It's something that's needed, and emotion can play a really big part of that, something that can be personal, really near and dear to my heart, or whether it's something that you know more about. But fundamentally, research and data gets you to conclusions and gets a person to conclusions. And so working in an area where there is a problem that is shared by a larger audience, which you can infer through data, and using that data to come to a conclusion that it's a bigger market, even if you don't hit the target straight in the middle, if it's a big enough market, it's forgiving. There's been several companies I've started, whether it was Blue Light, where I co-founded, where we work on e-commerce, general e-commerce, a huge market, whether it's working with Softonic on the software distribution market, whether it's Tempest, a private search engine. Each one of those is a large enough market that if you don't hit it the nail on the head, you still can have tremendous success. For a long time, I found a very niche solution would give some level of success, but it requires a perfect execution in order to get through. And over the years, I've learned, go for the bigger market. That's going to make your life a lot easier.
I've been an entrepreneur for the last 25 years. I started coding as a teenager, and of course there are lots of things over the years I've learned. First of all, I think I learned that every lesson is unique. So what works for someone else or what worked for me might not work for someone else. So maybe my number one lesson is don't trust all the lessons you see out there, because there's a lot of well-meant advice, but you always have to check, is this really relevant for me? But that having said, a few things I learned. One is things always take longer than expected. So starting a company and running a company is a marathon, not a sprint. So be patient, be persistent, and work in the long run. I've seen a lot of companies really work well in the long run, while in the short run they had a lot of problems. Another lesson, try to hire more doers than talkers. People who actually do stuff, whether it's developers, whether it's salespeople closing things, but try to really have a bias for action and for hires, but also for tools that do things and solve a real problem.